heck of a nerve.
Oh my God! The government is here! Run!
Hey, barkeep, whose leg do you have to hump to get a dry martini around here?
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
Shut the hell up. I've got the strangest feeling.
And we are live, everybody. What's up? Totally Toonular 102.
Yay.
Man, what a week. It's been an interesting week. I mean, I know,
Yes.
like, last week was kind of like whatever, you know. I feel like I didn't do much, but I don't know, this week's been fun. Like, actually, so, I don't know, lately I've been like a little, like, kind of bored of stuff between just working and just kind of like, I feel like especially with film and this podcast, like there's like this line of like, I don't know where like my personal life ends and where my professional life begins. And all of it just kind of blends together. So like, I was kind of losing my mind a little bit of like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And then it was like, I don't know. I don't know what, maybe I had this urge that I wanted to like just ride my skateboard again.
Nice.
To get outside and kind of like do something out there. And then there happened to be a sunny day, and I texted Leo and I was like, Leo, what are you doing? I was like, come film me in this park, because I wanted to attempt to do a kickflip for my 30th birthday. And Leo came out and we skated for like the entire day, and it was amazing. Leo got some great footage. He has this awesome 360 camera that we got to play around with, change all the lenses and whatnot. But it was sick. I know there's a point in my life where like I'm not going to be able to ride a skateboard. But I'm just glad that it's like maybe it'll be in like my 80s.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I like that
man.
mindset.
Literally, like I skated that whole, like we skated for like what 3 hours, Leo.
It's like around 2. It was something like that.
It was sick, Oh, there was a loop. But yeah, so I was skating, and I was like, I'm gonna land a kickflip. Show up, everything was abysmal. Fell a lot, and
It wasn't a lot. Like you fell for the whole thing you did was like 2 times. I tried one thing and I fell once. So like the ratio there is like I fell 100% of the times, and you probably like 1%.
3 kickflips. I tried to land one for my birthday. I landed 3.
So the one time I went skateboarding in my youth, I was maybe like 20, 21, never had tried skateboarding before. Went out and literally like got on, moved my 1 foot like twice. And then when I tried to put it up onto the board, I fell down. I had my keys in my pocket.
Oh gosh.
No.
And I landed on my keys, and it was like a massive, massive bruise. And much like, horseback riding and all this other stuff that people do, I stopped. I just was like, this is not for me. This is not the thing I want to do. It's very fun to look at. I'm glad other people enjoy it.
And I mean, I've stopped for a while too. I mean, I haven't like I skated a bit when I've been in California, but that's just kind of riding around. Like I went to a skate, like I haven't like really skated in probably like 6 years, maybe longer.
Wow.
Or even attempted like a kickflip. So just like know that like I can do it.
But you do,
like my legs were like the most sore. Like as of today, because I was in such a fucking positive mindset. I called one of my Long Island friends I used to skateboard with in high school to come out to Brooklyn, and we skated the next day.
That's
again.
awesome.
Nice.
Did you go to a skate park, or did you go to like
Cooper Park out in Brooklyn, which is a cool small park, pretty chilled. Some skaters there were crazy. But man, like as good as it felt, the best positive mindset I've been in a minute. My legs never hurt so bad. Like as of today, I can finally lift my knee up, but I straight up couldn't like.
Yeah, but you had like on Sunday like a bad fall that we saw today on the footage. That the skate was like upside down and you fell on top of the wheels and the metal part.
Oof.
Yeah, I got like one bruise, but I mean, luckily I didn't hurt myself too bad. That's what I'm
Yeah,
stoked
that's
about.
the shit that I stopped doing. Like, why? What's the point? Like, I like to just walk into a thing and and leave
The
it at
rush
that.
is fun.
But you
The
want to
rush-
feel like you want to feel you accomplished something. I don't know. Like
Oh,
I
well,
I, I never learned how to even
About, like,
it. I wanted
you
to
know,
learn at one point.
it's like this like mental state of like why I love skateboarding because it reminds me of like just being younger. And I was like when you're skating, you're thinking about that one thing. Nothing
Sure.
else around you fucking matters. No drama, no other bullshit, no other like
Mhm.
headlines, whatever.
Do you
Like,
wear a helmet?
nah, I don't wear a helmet.
No.
No. But I mean, I've never worn a helmet.
You're gonna get brain damage. That's the
Uh.
other thing. I look at that and I see, I see just a level of irresponsibility.
Then I will wear a helmet next time I try because I almost try one thing and I didn't even accomplish at all and I fell. But like I have to also have like a wrist guard because that's what I use to work. So that I don't care if I break my legs. I just need my wrist.
You know why I need a wrist? I need a wrist for jerking it. If I lost the ability to jerk it, like life would be miserable. Like that would be terrible.
That would be terrible.
Don't
The
get on a
one
machine
thing-
or something.
The one time I fell on my when I was in Los Angeles, as you guys know, when we started the podcast, I was rollerblading a lot. And I was all padded up, right? Like elbows, knees, wrists, helmet, all of it. I like started to wean off it a little bit, and the first thing to go were my wrist guards. The one time I like truly wiped out, guess what I fell on and hurt my wrist. Not too bad, but like enough where it's like it was a scratch. I really was okay, but like enough so where I was like, wow, like I guess this would have been beneficial.
I mean, like the reason why I don't wear a helmet too is because most of the flat ground shit you're doing. I mean, most people break their wrist or their leg.
It's because you want to look cool in front of the other kids.
Yeah,
No, I mean,
that's
I've
what it is.
never
Yeah,
worn a
that's-
helmet. I mean, I've never, knock on wood, I've never, because the only time you ever need a helmet when you're skateboarding is like if you're hitting some like quarter
If you're
pipe,
doing like a half pipe or
like
something.
yeah, and big
If
stairs.
you're doing like an ollie, right? Like what is it?
Yeah.
Like if
Ollie,
No,
yeah.
that's for me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, for,
a 1080 McTwisty nuts or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
that one.
I
Like the first time,
Oh,
in
good. I'm
15
glad
years
that-
ago, when I snowboarded the first time, I was like, I want to look cool. Like the cool kids don't wear helmets, and I didn't. But like
Oh my
now,
And
I
snowboarders always wearing helmets. I would definitely
Snowboarding
wear-
and skiing, yeah, I'm like I gotta wear.
I
a
fell on
helmet.
my face on ice one time, and that hurts.
Yeah, no, see, I don't want any of that. I know we talked about it last week, but at the same time, again, you will find me like in the lodge, like with a nice like hot cocoa and a nice big sweater, just cold chilling, looking out the window. Like I would much rather that than see everybody coming all bruised, broken. Some of them, very successful and happy, but.
I have done that where like I've been on ski trips with say like and I'm like the slowest or whatever or like the least skilled and I'm like fuck it, you guys go, I'll just like hang back, and it is a delight,
I mean-
just like
Oh yeah, going down the slope alone.
Yeah, I mean,
is, like,
yeah,
the
know
best
your
thing.
limits too. I never tried to exceed my whole limits when I was there. I knew
mhm.
what I
Right,
could do.
right.
Then the second day I was there, I was landing more tricks. I was like, man, this feels great. Like even though
That's
I'm still
awesome.
kind of falling down, like I'm glad I can still do it. I'm hoping, because I know there's that day, where they're gonna be like, you can't do this anymore, some doctor or
Yeah,
I
someone.
just think it's funny
True.
that James had a good day when there was no cameras there. So I don't trust
I
that
invited you
happen.
to come back again on Saturday. 'Cause now I don't want to stop. I want to keep skating again.
Good.
Hell yeah,
good.
it's definitely
No,
pretty
no.
addicting. The rush
As
feels
long as the
good.
sun shines. Yeah, and it's just I hate looking at a sunny day and being like, damn, I'm just smoking weed again, sitting on this
Right,
couch.
right.
But Ben, it was your birthday on last episode. Literally
Yes.
when the episode came out. So how's your week been? How was the birthday?
Birthday was
your present behind you.
yes, my beautiful Toxic Avenger lamp. Look at that. It's made out of those little
Is it
melty.
custom made?
Yeah. Well, it's handmade. I don't know that it was a custom in the fact that like it's the only one in existence. I do believe the artist has them up for sale. However, it's made of the those little like round sort of pegs they have that are like the perfect little
Like
cylinders.
light brights, right? Like light brights.
No, it's you could iron them. They're like these little pegs. You would get like a pegboard. You would make a design and then you would iron it, and so the little plastic would mush together and melt, and then you would have this like little design thing that you could do. They were
I'm
big.
familiar with that.
Yeah, yeah. I used to make them a lot when I was a kid. Like, I loved it because you could make a design, iron it, and then keep it, and you'd put a little magnet on it in the back, all that. This is made out of those. And they put like LED lights in it, and then now I have this beautiful Toxie. I've never been excited about a lamp until I got this. But it's
beautiful. It is beautiful.
I mean, look, ooh la la.
And
Right?
just keep
That's
adding
the-
more stuff to his background.
That's the Crusader Toxie, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. That is the Crusader Toxie. 100%.
I'm surprised you don't just have like all your Toxies together, like a shrine.
Not yet. Let's put it that way. The more of this that we do, and I know that people are going to be watching it, there's gonna be a level of set decoration going on behind me. We'll just put it up that way. I look at you guys; you all have beautiful, wonderful backgrounds.
You gotta keep up with, like my Lesbos erotic adventure, and then the real JoJo poster.
It's
Wall of crap.
and then your wall of crap.
Mine is
no.
always a curtain because I never want to clean my room. So.
That's
Mine's blurred because I hide my soul. So.
there you go, right? But
I wish I could flip my camera because I have the cool toy side on this side of the wall.
Oh
but
yeah, that's true. You do.
computer's this way.
well,
So
what you need is just like a little pedestal, and then you can flip your computer around, or at least your camera. You know, what I mean?
just like
Your camera and
just
your
like
mic.
a rotating desk.
Yeah,
You know, like a super villain and just like spin around.
100%. That's what you do. But no, on Saturday, the day it was wonderful. It was a very calm, chill day. We stayed at the house for the most part. I went out, had lunch with my dad. Jen took a nap, got up. She made breakfast that morning. That was awesome. We watched The Circle. Do you guys fuck with The Circle at all?
Yes, I do. Hard.
Just the first season.
Oh my God.
I do.
This season is so good. Like, this season is so good.
I have yet to watch it, admittedly, but since you say that, I probably will watch it. Yeah, I am inconsistent with watching it, but when I watch it, and I love it. So yeah.
It's
So just
delicious.
like before Ben finish his story, since
I do want to hear.
side questing this reality life, I tried this new show on TLC that literally came out the first episode this week, but that one was too much even for me. I was like, fuck, I can't do this. It was MILF Manor.
MILF Manor?
So
That
it's like a
sounds
bunch
like a
of like
dream come true.
50s, maybe almost like 6-year-old ladies, like, we want a young boy, yeah. And then and they're waiting, and there was like a twist. So when they revealed the guys, it's all of their sons.
Oh,
You have to
what?
date the other MILF's son.
This isn't like a Nathan for you sketch. It's a real show.
guys
It
have
is
watched-
a TLC, like going beyond, and the thing, like when they start the first thing, like to the first game to see who gets the two best rooms with the jacuzzi inside or whatever, a hot tub, and the whole game was they have to blindfold and figure out who are their sons by touching the abs, and then I was like, okay, I gotta go.
No, that I don't like that. I don't like
That's
that.
the
Yeah, I would-
horniest thing I've ever heard. I
I-
cannot wait.
I really was sold by the top of this. Yeah, that's
No, it's
that's-
really messed up, and I was
wanna
like,
see
okay, no.
Nope. I'm
Nope.
sorry.
You guys ever watch that 30 Rock?
Watch what?
You ever watch 30 Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the episode where there's like a whole season where there's like a reality show that they're making called MILF Island, and it reminds me of the same thing.
I like the
It's
idea
kind
of,
of like they're all in Mexico, and I don't know. It's really weird. It's like when they reveal before it gets way weirder. It was just like one guy that all the MILFs want. He was always attached to his mom, and the other ones kept trying to cock block their mom. It was really weird. I was like,
talk
okay.
about the Oedipus complex. My
No,
God.
no, no.
But the
Look,
things like they all keep saying
I
like I
still
only
want to
date
know
young
what's going on
guys.
in this week here.
I
too.
want to see old ladies touch their sons.
No, but the
and
thing is,
try
like, they
and
keep
figure
saying,
out
like,
if they know 'em.
I wanna, they all the time be like, I wanna date only young guys or whatever, and they messed up their own kids, and their own kids like, okay, so I guess I can only date old women. I guess they screw up their own kids, and now everybody is like a messed up show.
Wow.
I'm telling you that I feel like Nathan Fielder is the executive producer or something. There's something else behind that.
Yeah.
I
That's
know
what
what Leo did for his whole week.
Oh!
Just watching Mills get at it. Like, see, it's a
Nah.
visual medium. I can do that too. So now, if the people listening missed that beautiful moment where I just looked like I was jerking off the whole time,
So let's go back to the
How's your
circle,
week?
Ben.
Yeah,
You've been
how's your-
watching that,
yeah.
and you
No,
like that.
it's wonderful. Yeah, but it's also a very horny show. Beyond that,
Yes.
we watched a lot of that. And then like Jen had made a cheesecake the night before. She always makes me a cheesecake. We did
Nice.
lemon raspberry this year. It's like super tart,
Ooh.
but like
Sounds
in the
good.
best kind of way. And then we had like butter chicken curry with rice for dinner.
Oh
Awesome.
my god, yum! Oh my god.
Butter
So-
chicken curry.
Yeah.
Dang, that sounds fancy.
Bro, it's delicious, amazing. But when I was out for lunch with my dad, apparently shit went crazy at the house while I was gone. I get a call from Jen.
At the house.
I get a call from Jen, and she's like, "You won't believe what's going on here at the house." And I was like, "What has happened?" Like immediately, my mind goes to worst case scenario. She goes, "There are 2 fucking puppies in our yard right now," and I was
Yeah,
like,
not just dogs, puppies.
full blown baby dogs. All
Oh my
right.
god. So
And they're
That never
big.
happened to me.
It only happens to you, Ben. It's like you just attract these just adorable animals. You're like Cinderella.
and
Just
and
no
yeah,
way.
there you go.
our cat showed
Both of
up
them,
here.
right? Both of them work with animals.
Yeah, and you said your cat showed up.
The cat showed up here at the house when we moved in. Every pet that I've had in my adult life has either been like a friend is like, I can't keep up with this animal, will you take it? Or somehow has mysteriously found its way to me. Leroy showed up at the house.
Yeah.
These 2 dogs, these 2 puppies show up, and it's like we don't know what to do. It's kind of a cold day, so we're like, well, I guess we'll just bring them inside and start to figure it out, you know.
Like people, or are they afraid of you at all?
No, they were not afraid of
Aw.
anything.
So when you guys do like house tasks or just wake up, you guys are always like singing. Like, what's the?
Yeah. What's the
It
song
is-
you all sing together?
birds show up in our window to eat freshly made pies, and then they carry the curtains in their beaks and drape them over in the morning times. We step outside and like deer bow in front of us, and then they pick us off.
So like Jen finished the cheesecake, and the dogs are like following the smell and
The
floating.
smell. That's what it was, and they floated into the yard is what I think it is. You're right. But they were, clearly they'd been outside. They were outside dogs, but we, whatever. We're good with strange dogs. We don't care. Leroy was chill with them. He had some puppies to play with for a day. He only got jealous a couple of times. So we had to feed him and them separately.
He loves having buddies.
I mean, dude, they played hard. They played hard.
Aw, so sweet.
But lo and behold, like around 8:30 to 9 o'clock, somewhere in there, I'd gone outside, and basically I was putting everybody in the toilet to go to the bathroom. I take them all outside, and the person whose dogs they were was driving around looking for them, and sure as shit stops and is like, "Hey, those are my dogs. They're 2 female Great Pyrenees puppies." And then, what do? He showed some pictures, and now my new best friends were gone. I'd fully, in my mind, was like, well, I have to keep one of them. Jen has a friend.
Mhm.
Jen has a friend who has a big ass farm. And I was like, we couldn't have 2 dogs in the house, 2 new dogs in the house. But if they could meet up from time to time and play, like that would be chill. You know, we would know them. They could, you know, go off and live their own lives and meet together again. But
Yep.
I'm tearing up here on this.
Oh.
Audio just can't see him. Tearing a little bit.
alas, not my call to make though, right? So
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
Eventually, you gotta. It is someone else's dog. So, you gotta give it back.
yeah, they had a good day though. They had a very good day. We
Yeah,
actually
they had the best.
Well,
They
that's
came. They knew it was your birthday. They
It's
came
my
just for your
birthday
birthday.
for puppies to hang out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, look,
Well, also, don't you remember when we did Bergio's movie and this kitten just showed up? And then you just did that whole entire scene with like a kitten on you that just hopped on your lap.
that hopped on my
Aw.
that laid on my Tim Tums. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that one? That one, the college one. What's the full name of that one?
No, ready.
Oh, this is a different one. Yeah, this is a different one. I don't think a lot of people have seen, but
Red
is-
Ready?
yeah, Ready. But
Oh,
we filmed it in the park by Ben's where the laundromat is in Westmoreland, and this kitten just popped up next to us and just started hanging out with us, and then just Ben picked it up. He was hanging out, and they just did this. We just sat there.
We did a scene together.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the one with the swing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when
Yeah,
you
Animals just flock to you, man. They just flock to you.
I mean, whatever. They see a sucker and they know him. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is.
They know you're the heart of the show. They're going after the heart.
Well, yeah, that's what it is. They did tug at my
When we
strings.
do Captain Planet, we know which ring you have.
Right? Puppy ring, motherfucker. No. Anyway, but yeah, good birthday. Thanks for asking. Everything went well, but yeah, it was a good time.
I mean, anything else exciting happened this week?
I mean, dude, apart from like just general like work, like grip shop's been kind of hectic the last couple of days. Laundromat's been kind of hectic the last couple of days. We did a read through. Nicole sat in with us for the Vol Cells, friend of the show, Reeves.
I mean, I've read the script before, and Reeves had hit me up about it. But I just wasn't home yesterday.
Bro, there's some
It's
fun
great.
shit that's getting
Yeah.
picked up around that. So
And I heard that little Jimmy Adamson also wrote a script. That's the one I haven't read.
both are ridiculous and in the best ways possible. So did some read throughs. I've been sort of working on some rewrites for a project that we're working on in September. Me and you, James.
Yeah.
You're signed up for sound for Scream Dream. Adam,
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's cool.
yeah, Adam
I'm
Freeman.
I'm doing all the sounds everywhere.
Everywhere.
Nice.
Everywhere.
Cool.
Sounds like a job for James.
Hey,
But
there you go.
it's been
I should put that on a business card.
sounds like a job.
Yeah, that's a good.
Smart.
That's a really good tagline on a business card. Yeah, love it.
But yeah, busy, man. Busy in the best ways.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I'm glad to hear it. I'm hoping, soon we get, because, it's weird. So I realized recently that in the past couple episodes of the show, I guess right now we talked a bit about Vol Cells, but we haven't talked about Cook Island or Weird Deer in like a while. which
Or
is-
Seinfeld.
Or Seinfeld in a minute. We're growing.
Seinfeld, arguably more recently
That's so
than the other
like
two,
the
but
first
yeah.
100 episodes.
Well, but it's so the first one. But since you bring it up, we did get assembly. We got an assembly on Weird Deer. So now we're going back through and we're doing some fine tuning. We're gonna get to a nice solid rough. I have been collecting music from people left and right, so that's very good. There's movement, but this I hate to say is sort of the more what do you call it? It's the more boring stuff. It's kind of the in between stage.
The Weird Deer
Mhm.
tapes.
Yeah.
All the info on that.
Dude, that's a thing I
Oh.
cannot wait for. That's going to be terrifying when you start to release those.
Yeah, it's like hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that I was in a room physically with James, Ben, and Joshua, and Jen as well. But like you two and Joshua, because like we talk on the web all the effing time,
Right.
right? And we would just like recorded a podcast in real life together. Like that blows my mind. Like I
Yeah,
like feel like
yeah,
that's not
for-
real, but it's real.
But I know, figure out
What?
eventually how to release those Weird Deer tapes. I haven't decided yet, or
Yeah, I can't imagine what I said. I probably sounded like a
Yeah, it's a
loon.
experiment. It's gonna be crazy
so-
listening back to it.
Terrifying is
Yeah.
what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Remember when we all hated
Yeah.
each other?
I was just like I like suppressed so many emotions. So like yeah, on the outside I was all cheery and
If
happy.
you're out there and you haven't listened to it yet, there's the teaser with Bad Bet that's on the Fantasy Shed spot.
That
I think it's like makes
That
3
is-
or 4, so go check that out. But Nicole, how's it hanging
Yeah.
on in the California side?
Yeah. I mean, a similar type of thing. My life has been like kind of overwhelming, so it's always nice to like have my, escapes to do other cool stuff. Ben sent me a photo of me, acting in Weird Year, so that was cool to see, like a still from the movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, I
so that
remember
was exciting.
being, I just obviously I did sound for that scene, so I was there. But I remembered like it felt tense. I mean, like it felt like like you guys really kind of like I felt like real acting between you two. Like I felt like a tension and a beats between you guys, like that.
Me and Babs, or me?
Oh, and
Me and
Eric,
Eric.
yeah.
I gotta say, me and Eric, and I've said this to him a billion times, our like souls connected in that scene. I like. We were one. It was beautiful. Shout out to Mr. Fitness too if he's listening. Beautiful human. Yeah, that was a really fun scene. I thought you were talking about when people were driving by and honking.
Oh, I mean, no, that yeah, I mean.
Oh, there's
that
a
was
lot of
like-
that in the cut. I hate to say it. There's a lot of that in the cut.
I believe it because I remember
I don't. Yeah, I mean,
It-
we talk-
was a thing.
not like I didn't say that it wasn't there.
No, it's not. It's not that. But then I also call back to what Lloyd says. Lloyd says, we'll tolerate the things that we cannot control. And when you're shooting out in public,
Exactly.
we can't control that.
Are you
Unfortunately.
guys gonna bring Nicole to the studio to like voiceover?
There's gonna be a little bit of ADR
Oh.
work that we're gonna have to do, but we'll probably do it from home because everybody seems to have access to like decent mics. So yeah, there'll be a level up.
I have this
We could talk
very
about it,
expensive,
man.
nice mic stand.
I can do a pretty easy way. I mean, we could talk about it later.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I do a pretty good DIY voiceover like setup.
So that was cool to see, I mean, I'm in a similar boat, I guess, to you, James, but as opposed to like going out into the world, I'm like really chilling in and like, nurturing my Sims life. My so that's been like ongoing. I think the last I checked it, I'm at like nearly 50 hours of playing The Sims over the past couple of weeks.
And there's live.
They're still alive. In fact, they have chickens. They have chickens in their yard.
Very nice.
They're taking
eggs
care of their
are in.
chickens and they're laying eggs. And yeah, the okay, this is really ridiculous that I'm saying this out loud. So my Sims are like a couple, a man and a woman, a heterosexual couple, and the guy's sister moved in because I wanted another source of income. So she like,
You moved in an in-law.
yeah, I moved in an in-law.
It's like the sitcoms.
Did the sister and her sister-in-law like spark a thing? Is this like a
No, I like purposely was like, oh, well, no, but I no. But that being said, I did make the sister queer because I'm like, okay, her girlfriend could eventually move in. That's my like the sitcom house I'm building in The Sims, where it's like this guy, his lesbian sister, fiance.
They're all gonna start banging. You're gonna have like a weird sort of porno in your cabin, and it's gonna be amazing.
Well, that being said, I'm happy you said part of that. My Sims have banged now. Last time we were talking, my Sims have not banged, and now they have banged. There you go. There you go. And in The Sims, they call it woohoo, which is hilarious. They're like, "Do you want to woohoo with Lacey?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." Let's do it.
Amazing.
So, as opposed to like living, like I said, as opposed to like living a life going outside in the gorgeous weather, I'm just like living a virtual life on The Sims. It's fun though. I'm having a great time. No regrets.
No regrets. Well, I'm glad it's all super fun.
It's really like Ready Player One kind of vibe.
Yeah, I am a little terrified for myself. I'm like, wow, am I gonna like
Just don't
really?
doing like Sims VR. That's when it'll get scary. You know,
Yeah, that's when you'll really lose me. You'll be like, wow, whatever happened to Nicole? Why'd she?
Your own totally Toonular like Sims. Like you're gonna have the podcast in the Sims.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my gosh, that's bound to be a thing down the line, right? Like a Sims podcaster or something. They have like everything else.
The trick also is
so-
just like you put like a curtain in your house that you don't know what's the weather outside,
Okay.
so you never feel bad that if the weather is good, you're just home. That's what I do.
That's interesting. It hasn't been rainy or snowy. But then again, I bought like that cottage core packet where I think it's just like purposely happy and shiny all the time because like I don't know. I paid a pretty penny for it. This is embarrassing that I share all this,
I
but
think you mean in your actual home, so you don't feel guilty about wasting good days. Or did I miss? Yeah.
Yeah.
so it's like I'm like, okay, I'll say it. I live in like the Central Valley of California. More days than not are pretty nice here. I'm a spoiled bitch. I'm sorry.
I wish. So the weather's been nice here. That's why I went skating. It's been pretty sunny, but I wish sun.
Move here. Oh, LA was a different story. Fresno like has bad weather. LA is just gorgeous. Other than in February, our birthday month, James, unfortunately. But but otherwise, yeah.
We got Stevie Lou's over in the Twitch chat. So
Stevie
up,
Lou.
What's up, Stevie?
Hi, Stevie. Thanks for tuning in. So yes, that's basically everything with me.
what about you, Leo? How's it hanging? Because I just saw you not too long ago.
True. We got like legit Mexican food. We went at Taco Bell today. We're checking James' footage and pictures so I can take a deeper look on the pictures and add it for him. Yeah, so trying to figure out my life now. Find like more jobs now that I'm full-time freelance is kind of like scary sometimes when you don't find anything. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I wish I was like 10 years old again when I was like trying to learn skate with James. 'Cause you keep falling, it hurts. When you're 10, you can't fall and it won't hurt. So, yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
do you know how many times I have wished that I was 10 years old again recently? All of them. All of them. Constantly. Like the struggle, like especially like it gets ridiculous. Like property taxes, fucking like car insurance, like all of that shit is
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember at
ugh.
10 years old, I accidentally broke a new sink that we just got in the house. And like, you were like, oops, no problem. If I did that today, that would cost me my life savings.
everything.
Yeah, it was nice to just like be a kid and not have to worry about responsibilities. But then again, here's my caveat. I feel like I got yelled at a lot when I was a kid. And like I'm very happy I don't get yelled at now.
Yeah, you all got the freedom still. I mean, that's one thing I like. I think I take away most from this show is just like how much like that Tom just gets fucking just bullied.
Yeah, so Andy was asking what like the general plot line of the show was. He's like, what's like the overarching thing? I'm like, Tom is poor and everyone makes fun of him.
It's not even like the kids
It's-
too. It's like the adults bully him.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are the word. The thing is like Tom, he suck, but and he suck, but he's confident at the same time. That's what Fernando,
Yeah,
James,
Tom's
and I were
hilarious.
talking about. Like he's not good at anything, but he's still confident.
And like
He's the funniest
and when
character.
I
I
think
think.
about like the pilot episode, right? I think it sums up who Tom is as a person. Where it's like, yeah, I want to be on stage. I'll play the bassoon, but I just want to like just hang in the back, not be like front and center. And then like everybody always puts Tom front and center, and then he obviously fucks it up, and then everything gets worse. I think that opening episode really sums up like what's gonna happen to Tom throughout the rest of the show.
That opening scene was
And they
amazing.
forced him to do that, bassoon solo.
So like and then he goes in and he does, what is it, Beyonce's All the Single Ladies. because he can't
yeah.
he can't play anything that is that's remotely classical or that could take a level of actual technical know-how. So he does a very simple bass line. Like 3 notes and they're all very long notes. Like it's great.
It's just like it's always just my kind of favorite story where it's like, all Tom wants to do is just hang in the back, play the bassoon. He thinks this will be totally easy, and then of course some one lady calls him out for it. Then his mom gets into a fight, settle this huge argument. He has to do a solo, and it's like everything gets thrown back on top of him in the worst way when he tries to do something simple. And like that's why I love Rick and Morty too. Like I love when just characters that happens, they try to do one thing and then an apocalypse happens.
So like and in that whole situation, right? Like so beyond that, it's from the bassoon incident that he goes to play what, baseball? They're like, you automatically now you have to go do sports, right? You're bad at this. Surely you'll be better at sports.
Kind of guy.
And I noticed they carried the thing throughout the entire season. Like he's got a bassoon player poster in his bedroom. Like Lisa would have the sax man on her poster in The Simpsons. He's got this bassoon player on his fucking thing. But he never goes back to the bassoon, which is also bizarre. Like
He mentioned at one
that's a
point,
good point.
I forgot what was. I think he's saying like, do this favor and I can play a bassoon. I don't know. I forgot. Like at one point he kind of mentioned that back, but like he never plays that again.
he never goes back to it. And he seemed to love band, and everybody says they miss him in band, but I guess it's like life has moved on. And the notion of him being aware that he sucks. I forget which episode it's. Oh no, it's when his mom becomes the lunch lady. So it's like later in the, it's later in the season.
Oh right.
And he goes over to the cool kids table, and it's him. What's his friend's name again? Nelson.
Nelson.
Yeah, and he's like, what is it they say to him? They say, nope, before you guys go to sit down, we just want you to know there's no room here. And then Nelson goes, well, what if it's more Nelson stuff and less Tom stuff? And Tom's like, yeah, totally.
right.
Less Tom stuff. I agree. Way less Tom stuff.
Yeah.
And it's funny because usually we used to like a character like Tom being like not popular, but like Tom sucking and be aware of this and everything. He's still like, I don't think that's like the popular stuff on this cartoon per se, but like he like everybody kind of like him. It's just the adults that have a problem.
Yeah. It's the adults that are ruining this kid's life.
Well, I love the girl, and it's what's her name?
Dakota.
Dakota's mom hates
Britta
him.
from Community.
Yeah. Oh my God. Listen, Jillian Jacobs, right? Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
can do no wrong.
Dakota mom is the main villain of the show for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Jennifer Coolidge.
But it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Speaking of MILFs.
Speaking of milk,
Oh my
Too far,
God,
Mom.
I love. She's been. I love Jennifer Coolidge. She's been in a lot of great stuff recently too. So good for her.
hot.
Just making her come
Oh
back.
my God, so hot.
But still biggest
I
villain
love
of this
her so
show.
much.
For
The-
sure.
But the thing is, though, is like it almost feels like Dakota wants only to be around Tom because of how much her mother. Like, I'm conflicted about how much Dakota actually likes Tom. You know what I'm saying?
Well, she likes Tom because there's that episode on her birthday where she's like, I want you to come to my party, but my mom doesn't want you to come.
I know, but she wanted to piss her.
Oh my
Like
God.
I understand what Ben is saying, but I feel like both.
Yeah, right. Like she likes him enough,
She want
but
to piss her mom.
but at the same time, is it she wants to enjoy pissing her mom off more or not?
Well, I guess you can look at her as like usually I feel like the typical like main character of what these shows would be like, right? It's like the trouble kid trying to get back at their parents, and then they got their like friend who doesn't want to get into stuff, and they drag each, kind of like Ferris Bueller a little bit, right? But then this show kind of like takes the guy who doesn't want to be front and center, and then like everything gets forced him to be front and center.
That's crazy. I don't know, dude. It's a fun show. Like, it's fun. from start to
I mean,
finish.
and it like
Yeah.
opens up too at the baseball stuff where they're like, "All right, we're gonna get you roids."
We're gonna go buy you drugs. We're gonna go buy drugs, and they take him. And what is it? It's pretzels, soft pretzels. We're gonna go get some
Yeah,
soft
the
pretzels.
bus driver, and he's like, "We're gonna go meet my friend Doug. We're gonna get some soft pretzels." And then there's like,
Oh my god, that bus driver.
the bus driver is my favorite. But,
Yeah, I love bus.
He's so
yeah.
funny.
They got like the bag that says soft pretzels, and then in parentheses just drugs.
Did you
my gosh,
notice
he's so funny.
like that bag, the like lunch bag plays the lunch bag plays a massive role like throughout. In the same episode where the mother becomes the lunch lady and they stage their coup, he brings his bag back in, his little paper sack, and it says mom's hair and in parentheses for coup.
Like, oh yes, yeah. And they're like, "What's this?"
So before
like, well,
before
it says blankly,
we
which is-
continue, I just want to say hi to Dwayne that also joined the chat here.
Hey,
Hi,
Dwayne
Dwayne.
Steele.
Hi, hey.
Hello, hello.
Mila.
Hi,
But like
Oh, he did a
before he
great
got
job
the
on reading
drugs,
that.
that was like the point that he shit his pants.
Yeah.
The referee, I don't know baseball, but like the guy there that was supposed to be kind of like a referee, he's like, "Okay, don't worry, we have a whole system for this." And then he's like, "This kid shit his pants."
That
oh yeah.
was one of the. Do we have to tell everybody like that? No, I didn't. No, we don't need to. Can we just maybe calm that down a little?
No, it's right here in the book. Thou shalt not shit, their uniform or another player's uniform.
Or another player's uniform. It's
Or-
those little lines that I think are like that's the magic in here. Is like those weird little touches, right? You can't.
Because then they do the callback when he's batting a second time, and he goes, "All right, shit pants." He's like, "All right, can you like not do that?" He's like, "All right, shitty little bottom or whatever." He's like, "All right, I think you took that a little too far." And he was like, "All right, yeah, I did."
maybe I did. But they continue to, and like I guess more and more as like shows go on, like in cartoons they used to do like sort of a soft reset, but there was a certain point in time, like even the Simpsons still mostly does it. Simpsons is largely episodic, right? And they don't really build on a lot of things. The town is sort of fully formed. You'll see the same characters.
Yeah.
And you'll see arcs over time, but like with like a Rick and Morty, with like a South Park, the season will have to be watched like as a full unit to really understand everything that's going on. And that's this show too. And it's hard to pinpoint when that shift really took place and when it became more commonplace. But like that shit pants keeps coming back up, and there's a point later on where I think Tom, he's confronting somebody at one point, and he's like, no, it's me, I'm Tom, I shit my pants one time, and it starts becoming
No,
part
but
of
he
his
did more
story.
than once, because he said he did on a theater. Like when he didn't want to do the play, he wanted just to have one line or whatever. But he was saying was like shat.
I shat my pants.
He shat his pants like the last play, but so it looked like it's a recurring thing for him.
It's how he lives his life, which
Poor guy. Yeah.
I've shit my pants twice as an adult, as a grown man, like after 30.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, like, look, like, I don't judge whatever happens to people. Like, all I'm saying is that, like, it's an unfortunate thing. I'm so sorry it happened to
It's
you.
not
That's
my
not
fault.
fun.
I'm not that sorry about it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I don't think it's your. I like. I'm not like blaming you. I just like. I don't know. I'm sure that's like uncomfortable.
There was
You're,
like
in your soiled
on
pants.
Sunday, James and I always saw like basically someone cheating on the streets in Brooklyn. It was like,
I mean, look, if you're
Oh, they did.
at a
Yeah,
point
they
where
did.
you're-
I remember
it
that.
was like the longest wet
at a-
fart we ever heard. It was so loud.
talk about New York. If you're there and that happens, like it's uncomfortable to be in your own.
Poop. Yeah. So I shit
Right.
my pants one
so-
time. Like, I'll tell you, this is
I think I heard this story on Zach and Miko's
Yeah,
Midnight
I
Spook
think-
Show. By
no,
the way,
no,
I know
no.
you're
That's
talking.
when I shit my pants at work. Like I shit my pants at work and then
Oh,
I had to
okay.
hide it. Before that, I shit my pants and I ended up yelling at Jen as a result of it. Like it's ridiculous. So I was taking a screenwriting class. And I was leaving and I felt like a little bubble in my tummy, right? Like it felt a little like, ooh.
no.
And I was like, well, it's only, like a 20-minute ride home. Everything will be great. I'll get in my truck. I'm sure I'll be fine for 25 minutes. No problem. Right. So I get in my truck and I start to head home. And I ran into like 3 separate accidents on the way home, right? And
No.
it traffic was backed up. What should have been a 20-minute ride ended up taking like an hour 10. And like somewhere around the 30-minute mark was like the point of no return. And I was literally, so my truck is a stick shift. So I have to use both my feet. I have to use the left foot for the clutch and then the right foot for the brake and the gas.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Okay.
how stick works. You have to hit the clutch with your left.
I was gonna say I don't.
I
Yeah,
miss
I've never
driving
actually
stick.
driven it.
Oh, and for anybody listening to this or watching this right now, if you don't know how to drive a stick, like it is a thing you should absolutely like try to learn to do at some point in your life. You never know when you might get stuck.
Definitely overdue.
Yeah, you never know when you might
I'm definitely
when you
overdue.
might get stuck in a situation, and I don't know. It's a good skill to have. But anyway, so I'm sitting there and like I'm all clenched up and I'm trying to fucking drive and I got my butt cheeks all tight and I'm holding everything in and it keeps pushing
Oh
up
no.
and my stomach keeps hurting and everything's just in such like it's a terrible situation. But I am like a board. Like my cheeks are pressed. I'm this far off the bottom of the seat. But I can't step on the gas or the brake because I'll like push right through it. You know what I mean? And I'm still
Oh
in
god.
traffic.
Oh no.
And then there comes a certain point where everything starts to break open and people are expecting me to like speed up, but I'm at this like tender position where it's like I don't know how to do this anymore. My feet aren't working. And eventually some dude just smacks his horn and then I was like, fuck! And then
there you go.
just like I shit my pants. And it was gross. It was like diuretic shit. Like, and it.
See, I'm sorry that happened to you. I wish
mean,
that.
It's
All right.
At least
Fair
we're on a
enough.
decent field.
well. Listen, it filled my pants. It filled everything, like everything. And then now I'm trying a different sort of like way to like position myself so I'm not like sat in my own mess. Right? Like it's horrible. It's disgusting, and I don't want to shit up my truck seat either. So.
If any,
So no, wait, it gets so much better.
I just have a story after this.
It
so
gets
that's
so much better. So I get home, like at a certain point in time, like I call up Jen because now I'm sitting in shit. I have no idea what to do. I'm like, Jen, I'm screaming into the phone. And she's like, what is wrong with you? I just shit my pants in traffic. God damn it. And I'm like cussing up a storm. Didn't know she was with her best friend Charlie. And she had put me on speaker. So
Oh my
now
gosh.
I've got Jen and Charlie just laughing at me while I'm covered in shit. I finally get home. We had a gate. I had to get out, unlock the gate. So now all of my shit is not only all over me, but I have neighbors that are out and about, and I'm trying to hide my shitty ass from them as I'm trying to get into the house, and I have to waddle in, clean up. It was the worst. It was terrible. But arguably, now I can look back on it and laugh. That day was terrible. The next day I was like, I shit my pants, everybody.
If everyone could stomach it, I have a story. Or do
for
people want to move on from?
No,
I think
There.
that's the place
Go
for
for it.
people with good stomach.
Okay, so nearly like I don't know, maybe it was like close to a decade ago. I was like seeing this fuckboy. He looked so much like Nick Jonas. Quite a handsome guy, but
That
definitely
sounds
like
hot.
he was pretty hot, but like dumb. So I was trying to find a nicer word, but I couldn't. He like drove a ton. I was like, okay, fine, like I'll drive to this like restaurant, whatever. We like go to this restaurant. It's like on Long Island, and I like just like get all this like I don't know why I did this, but I got like this like crab clam chowder, like pasta. It was like very weird. And then I got like coffee. So I just like had like a ton of dairy in me, like in my stomach. I was like, oh shit, like I don't feel good. I went to the bathroom, puke, and then I'm like, okay, good. It's like done. It's out. We're driving back to this guy's house. And again, like he's hot. Again, like he looks like Nick Jonas. Driving to this guy's house, I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel good. And I am driving and I just vomit all over myself.
Oh, no.
Like I'm like, oh my God, you're very hot, and this is really like embarrassing that I just did that.
You did
He's
it on
like,
a date?
like he was like in the car, like he was. It was like after the date, he was like in the car, and like I wish Ben was here. I'm gonna potentially have to repeat the story, but anyway, and I was like, okay, I like dropped him off. I was like, okay, that's it. Like this guy's never gonna talk to me again. Like whatever, I just have to like take this L. And then he texted me later in the week. He was like, hey, want to go to dinner? I was like, sure.
Hey man, fuck boys want to fuck, you know.
I was like, he's like, I don't care if there's vomit all over you.
Let's
Do
go.
what you gotta do. What you gotta do. That was like definitely one of the most embarrassing things in my life, though.
Nicole too, to kind of bring us back a bit. So when we did animals, I mean, your cousin Phil Matarese talks about this creator because the only other HBO animated shows that existed were Spawn, then this guy's show, Life and Times of Tim, and then your cousin's show. And he credits himself a lot from this show, a lot of his humor and stuff. And I mean, I think I can see that when I watched it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I did watch some of, and it's funny, like last week, I thought that this show and the life and adventures of Tim would have like a connected story, and they don't, which like, whatever, like totally cool. So I watched some of the life and adventures of Tim, and like I see so much animals humor in that particularly because the characters are adults.
And I'm pretty sure the same guy, because he's the creator who voices the two main characters.
Yeah.
Tim and Tom. I think he did voice characters in animals too.
Cool. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I just
remember your cousin telling us that on air. I don't remember who it was, but he was like, yeah, he voiced some stuff.
There's so much of that similar humor. Absolutely.
I've
and in this
the
like
dialogue of just like this kind of natural, just like quirky dialogue between them.
Yeah, like it's kind of like dry, like almost like self-deprecating sense of humor. It's so funny. It's going to land all the time.
Like extreme too, you know, like just the way they go about it.
What do you mean? Wait, sorry. What do you mean? Like
just like the extremeness of it, of like, you know, just the way that Tom gets bullied and the way that they talk down, and the way that like, just like, you know, when they go to like the Dakota's dad's like fishing trip, you know, and it turns into like, all right, we gotta fish around and chug these beers, you know, just like remember the pilot of Animals where it's just like mice talking, but then they're talking in a room where the mayor is fucking a hooker and kills her, you know, like
yes, right, like extreme situations.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. Like dark humor, I suppose. Yeah, like a dark humor, dry humor.
Something like innocent and then like putting it in like an extreme scenario, but then still kind of keeping that dry sense of humor to it. It's an interesting balance. It's pretty. That's why I like the show so much.
So just like quickly, there's an animals episode where these two mice are like find a baby, like a human baby. I don't know if you guys remember that one. If not, recommend you watch it.
Yeah.
And they like are like, you know, getting tickets for like people to like see this like baby. I don't know. It just goes like so like that type of thing where it's just like you're absolutely right. Like these ridiculous situations in like a medium like animation that's like in I don't know. Yeah.
It's a little similar too, where they don't move like perfectly. You know, there's like a jankiness to it that's like stylistic to them.
Yeah, I love something about this animation is really appealing to me. Like exactly what you said. Like it's like
simple, but also like not too simple. Like it's like simple in like the perfect way of like because there's not a lot of angles. It's a lot of dialogue, but it's just funny enough, and the way they're able to like cut to each joke just works, you know.
And it's funny how like I think it almost adds to the humor too, because it's like these people like the people in it are like so like stiff's the wrong word, but like, you know, not a whole lot of facial expressions or movement.
Yeah.
And they're just like delivering these like ridiculous lines.
It's like one where like Tom goes to like have a conversation with the principal or whatever, and the principal is just like, hey Tom, can I just like talk to you? Not as like a principal student, but as like a friend to friend.
So I'm not sure if it's the same episode, but my favorite episode of the show is when the principal has a crush on his mom and is like, "Can you set us up?" And then the mom's like into it, and she's like, "Oh my god!" Like she's like acting like she's like gonna date a celebrity. She's like, "I'm gonna go out to dinner with a school principal. They make so much more than lovers." And she's like taking photos with him, and she's like, "I'm gonna post this on social media. My ex-husband's gonna be so jealous." Like,
and then you go back to his house the next morning. The principal's wearing that plumber shirt where it's like only the plumbers know how to lay the best pipe.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But like James, you pointed
was
out
like-
too that on the roast episode when they go see the principal like crying like at home or whatever, he still got the picture of him and Tom's mom on his wall in a frame.
Oh, he does. I forgot what picture that was now. What was that
It's
from?
from like the restaurant when they went out, I think.
Oh, right. Like the picture of them, yeah, like at the table or whatever on his wall.
Before we continue, I just want to also, I forgot to send a shout out to Gory Bits too, to say hello here.
Hi, Glory Bits.
Oh, what's up? Thanks for watching.
Also, Dwayne said that, sorry I'm late. I was watching old school classic Ring of Horror Wrestling on YouTube.
Ring of Honor Wrestling. Yeah, the Ring of Honor.
Oh, what did I say? Ring of Horror?
Yeah.
Ring, Ring of Honor. Whoopsie.
Could be a horror
Ring
too.
of Honor is great. They just lost
Yeah.
a wrestler recently, so sorry.
Oh.
wrestler.
Oh.
So,
Darn.
I was gonna ask this with Ben here, but maybe we figure out a different question for when he's here. But what do you guys think is the reason why Dakota dad is still with her mom? Because like they clearly hate each other. He's like cheating on the mom with a hooker. Like the mom
I mean,
want
I
to
guess
be his.
it's got to be some like codependent kind of stuff,
Right.
right? I mean, like
I
getting
was thinking
divorced
like
has
that.
got to be tricky. It doesn't seem like she works at all, right? So he has all the money as an accountant, and I'm sure if he got a divorce, he knows that she's just probably gonna take everything from him because he's a little bitch, you know?
Oh, darn. Yeah, what's the term I'm looking for? Like almost like a situationship. But like worse because he's stuck.
Yeah.
Like, well, I shouldn't say it seems like they're both stuck, but
Yeah,
he's
like
a
they're
little
both
bit
they're
more
both
like,
not good people.
They're both
Right.
not good people, but I still think it's the mom's fault for him being such a asshole, though. You know, because
But she's
he's
so-
But the thing is, like, even
Yeah.
So, like-
even
there
when
now.
they went to the lake house, the other guys are like, he's
Mm-hmm.
an asshole. I don't know why we still hang out with him.
Oh yeah, you're right. Even his friends are like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Forgot
Ben.
about that.
Welcome back. We're talking about like why do you think Dakota mom and Dakota dad is still together? Because they hate each other.
They're doing it for the kids.
I don't think they care. Like,
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they care too much. I said it was because the dad makes the money, and he doesn't want to divorce the mom because she'll take
Yeah,
everything.
that's probably the case. Like in all honesty, that's probably the case.
Because we don't see what she does as a work. All we ever see her do is complain and drink Chardonnay. He's an accountant, right? So he's got to make some money, like a pretty good amount of money being an
And,
accountant.
but then shouldn't she be like concerned and like be like, I don't want him to leave me. He makes all this money and I
That's
don't.
why she
I don't know.
takes control.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's why she's
That's
like,
why
Oh.
she's
gonna
a ball
just-
breaker entirely. So, were you guys
Oh.
talking about the fishing trip? Is that what I missed while I was looking
Yes.
for my
Well,
dog?
kind of. Yeah, we haven't really got into it though. But the fishing trip is also one of the funniest things.
It's hands down my
It's so
favorite.
funny.
Ben, now John here too, talk about the fishing trip. Like this kind of episode, like reminds me something from like Married with Children, or maybe just like a normal sitcom thing where they're like, all right, the men are gonna go on their
It-
like fishing trip.
It's very reminiscent of the time that Peggy. Peg signs Al and Steve up. Peg and Marcy sign Al and Steve up to take the boys on a Cub Scout trip. Yeah, and they all go out in the woods, and then Al tells the story about the red-haired beast that captures the sweet shoe-selling football hero. Yeah. It's entirely that.
So what I love about what this episode does is that I feel like it kind of deconstructs that in a way of like, yeah, this is like the guys' trip, but then also like everybody else who's there also just hates going, and they just keep going for some reason, and like,
And it's so relatable. You
Yeah.
know, we as humans get into these traditions, and at a certain point, It's like, do any of us even enjoy
Do
this?
we enjoy
you know?
it? We don't even like him.
Yeah.
He's the only. The most telling statement is when one of the guys is like, "Oh, there he goes singing his songs again," and then he leans over to Tom and he's like, "He's the only one who does this. He's the only one who does it. We're here. We want to decompress a
It's all
little."
about songs with his wife like talking down.
He's like, we just come to drink and let off a little steam. He's the weird one, you know. And then they have that confrontation at the end of it where they're like, "We don't even really like you. We don't want to hang out with you. You're weird." And
Because here's like the beginning of it when they have to piss in the circle, they're all like, "Why do we have to do that?" Like not even just like the adults are like, "Why are we doing this?"
And it's one of those things where it's like, and you're right, Nicole. We lock ourselves into like these relationships, like over the course of time, that the
So like 100 episodes.
Oh, yeah, something like totally
like
Toonular. No, I'm totally
102
I'm
episodes
totally
of
kidding.
this. Yeah. But
Yeah,
but it's one of those things where it's like you start to really look at like your own sort of relationships. And you're right. Like there are, and I won't go out to name names, but there are people that you end up like hanging out with that you're like, when you really start to evaluate it, you're not bringing anything to the relationship anymore. They're not bringing anything to the relationship anymore. And it just feels like you continue to do it because you've been doing it, you know? And that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Big theme of this show, I suppose. Like maybe that even ties into like why Dakota's mom and dad stay together, why Dakota's dad goes on these fishing trips. Why Tom puts up with all of this town's BS. Everyone just goes,
love
Anyone in this town has like a good life.
I mean,
who? I'm sorry.
Nelson seems to have a pretty good life, like except for Tom.
Isn't like his dad based on the OJ lawyer?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
He very much he's Johnny Cochran because he starts going through what is it when Tom breaks his neck in gym class? His dad's like, "So I have a rhyming scheme that I like to get into at the start of every trial." So he starts feeling out like his rhymes for the trial.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess because Nelson talks a lot about his dad, but I guess clearly he also does it like. I assume he doesn't really have a relationship like that with his dad.
Not like your typical, not sort of like a typical father-son.
I feel like it's like a very business
Kind of like a mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's what you need to do. Like it's not like, "Hey kid, let's play here and have fun." And it's kind of like you need to be a business guy. You're always an owner. You're never a player. I don't know. It's just all those things.
Yup. And it's like that's sort of a situation that like I kind of relate to over the course of time. You know what I mean? Like I get that. I get that. You all know.
I think everyone in some way could, I think.
My dad has a million things going on and constantly reminds me that when I'm dead, you have to take care of all of this. Which is both a blessing and a curse at the same time. But it's good, and it's a relationship in the show that I felt akin to. I don't think it's the worst relationship in the show by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, no,
yeah,
not at all. It's
yeah.
like every other relationship is so much worse.
There's even the episode where Tom just becomes the treasurer. He has those posters that are like running for treasurer, not good at math. But like he talks to his friend Dakota, and she's like, my dad's an accountant. He's pretty good at cooking the books. And she says it like with quotes,
Cooking the books.
like.
Or even before this, that he got elected just by saying, "I believe this, I believe that." Like he's saying, like, I never said I'm gonna do anything. I just said I believe this should be a thing.
Yeah, that's American politics at its finest.
Yeah, it's the whole like Tucker Carlson, like, "I'm just asking questions." Like, no, you're not.
It really is.
But then it's like he goes to like cook the books with the chick's dad, and he's just like, "All right, let's do this," and unbuttons his shirt, loosens the tie, starts blasting some rap. It's just like, "Oh yeah, pressing all the buttons. Oh, there's funds there, 6 G's right there for you."
And then the notion is to make a document so thick that nobody would ever read it. That nobody in their right mind would ever look through.
Yeah, so what did all that typing really do? It was nothing.
It was cut and paste is what that's the way I saw it. Like when you finally saw the document and learned what it was, and it was just like pulling web pages, recipes, whatever the fuck it was. You know what I mean? That's what he was doing there. That was copy paste, pull this file in, pull that file in. Oh yeah. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And the principal was like, yeah, I'll sign it. No problem. I don't need to read this. This is impressive.
Yeah.
And then later he comes back and he was like, yeah, this is definitely my fault. I should have read that book. This one's on me.
Like one of my favorite episodes too is the first responder one. The
Nice background.
the Tom like run away, and I forgot what's the other girl's name that she just like put like Snapple over.
Oh, the fire.
Yeah, and then the firefighter's like,
become a hero.
I shouldn't say this in front of kids, but like this is a pussy.
Oh yeah, this episode has my favorite line in the whole show. So like when Tom wants to like be a hero again, and then the bus driver is like, "All right, we gotta go see my friend Doug." When that dude's like showing him all his explosions, he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm a real Renaissance man. I'm like every Ninja Turtle's rolled into one."
That's good. Oh my gosh.
Like that is my favorite line I've ever heard in my life. I'm a Renaissance man, so I'm like every Ninja Turtle's rolled into one.
and that joke cuts deep on a bunch of different levels.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like that.
Jealous that I never came up with it first.
It's super, super smart. Like it's super, super smart. I don't know. That's where the show gets fun too. Is that it is deep. It is smart. You know what I mean? Like it's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that guy's like, yeah, I work for Michael Bay, and he's clearly, and the video's like clearly just like a parking lot that he's just blowing people's stuff up in.
He said he needed like some Aerosmith song too, right? When he was like blowing stuff.
Oh yeah, it was like with the hero songs, like "You're a hero."
When he draws it out and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna need some fancy movie smoke for this." Like, I also enjoy that.
They got a fogger, Ben, and not a.
They got a
hazer.
fogger, not a hazer. Lessons learned. Lessons learned. But like I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. Like going into this in the slightest. They'd never heard of it. They have fucking John Malkovich. Did you guys touch that at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we
Yeah,
haven't
he's,
talked about that yet.
We haven't talked about it, but
he's one of
I
the
did see.
teachers.
He's the
What teacher
theater
is he?
one.
Yeah.
The theater teacher. Yeah. Because he has the episode where, like, when Tom fucks up the, he didn't really fuck up the school pictures. He fucked it up because he wanted a different photo. But the ending with the teacher is my favorite. He's like, "Yes, I'm here. I just got out of the bathtub, and here's $500 wet dollars." And the police show up. They're like, "Bald, you're naked, and you got a hard drive that says pictures of little kids."
Oh my god! Yeah.
So like that one too. And again, it's like the level of subversion. It's there, but it's also like, well, okay, normally it's the kids that want to take the wackadoodle pictures that fuck everything up. That's been done. Oh, what if Tom just wants a normal picture to make his mother happy? What if that's how he subverts?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I love about that show, where it's like all he wants is the most innocent thing ever, and it somehow ruins the entire school photos, and his teacher gets arrested.
You can't have a yearbook this year. You
And
can't
he got
have
like
a
a
yearbook.
whole billboard with his
Oh
face.
my god. Yeah. Yeah. How about that? They're like, you're erasing an entire year.
Everybody has to start 5th grade over again. Like,
Oh no, yeah, no, that one is on the.
oh,
cooking
that's the books.
That
That's
he
cooking
start,
the
yeah,
books
he
now.
start like shredding the
That's
whole
the book.
thing.
He's like, yeah.
He shredded the wrong thing.
That's
But
right.
you see,
that's
like,
right.
also who is the ice cream man?
Oh,
Yes, I did see that, but I won't like.
Oh no,
spoil
you can
it.
say it.
That way you can say it. Oh, David Duchovny from the X
Yeah,
Files.
Californication dude.
David do motherfucking Coveney, man.
Yeah,
The ice
Boy,
cream
He kind
man.
of looked like
Yeah.
him. I don't know. Like when I saw and look at the ice cream guy's face, I feel like a couple characters I can see kind of reminding a little bit of the voice actor. Like the lunch lady, I think looked like the actress too.
Like that's That's pretty
Who's
solid.
the actress?
Oh, the lunch lady is fuck. I don't know her name, but she's on Borat, the first movie. She married him in the end.
Oh, shit. And I used to. Why can't I remember her name now?
Let me kind of cheat here.
I say I can look on IMDb.
You got to come in with the facts.
Sorry. Even the Wikipedia page has nothing. Like this show
Yeah,
has nothing.
that's a good point.
Like, so,
Yes.
I tell you right now. Just give me 1 second.
The
It's
a
Luenell.
Lunel, there you go.
Luenell. Okay. Yeah, that's her name. She's like
Nice.
Oprah. She only has one name here on IMDb. She's Beyonce.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Good for her.
So like, and I'm gonna bounce around like a lot, but just like the general characters that come into this, like the hooker in the fishing episode, absolutely hysterical.
The one person who wanted to do something wholesome with Tom, and he was like, "Yeah, let's make s'mores." And then she was like, "All right, so you just get the crackers, the chocolate, and the marshmallows." And he's like, "So I think I'm just doing all the work here." And then she falls asleep.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He's like, "I don't think anyone could be this tired."
and then she goes from, what is it, like 12 in a day is too many. I think
Like, yeah, 12 dogs is too much. There's too many.
I don't understand how she managed to have so little clothes, but like such big like sun tan marks.
so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah,
Like,
because you can see on your photo where they get cut off, like right, like on the thigh.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Good observation. I didn't
those
realize that.
tan
That is a funny
those tan
detail.
lines are nutty. Nutty. Tan lines
Doesn't
are
make sense.
Maybe she was partying over at Myrtle Beach.
Oh, yeah.
Also for the
Oh,
guy-
yeah, Jersey.
and I don't know why I find it as hilarious as it is, but the fact that like Tom's dad ran away to go party in Myrtle Beach just makes me so fun. Like I think that's like, it's like, of course it's like Myrtle Beach, you know, it's not like they went to like
Yeah.
Hawaii or like Florida or I don't know, like San Diego, whatever tropical place. Like now we're going to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, but he's
Oh, wait
a
a minute, is
plumber.
Myrtle
Like,
Beach-
I mean, yeah, you are partying on like
Oh my God. Whoops, not
on
Jersey.
like plumber
Yikes.
bucks.
North
I knew
Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina. And
I knew that.
Myrtle
Kidding.
Beach
I did not
isn't
realize
that no,
it's
that's
the Jersey
Florida.
of Jersey.
It's South Carolina, but it's a Carolina. It's not Jersey. I thought it was Jersey, admittedly, and I thought that was funny that he just escaped to a different part of Jersey. But
Well,
anyway,
even here,
Myrtle Beach is like the Jersey Shore of like the
yeah,
South.
okay,
So it's
okay,
even
similar
worse.
vibes. All right, so
It's-
If you're Jersey Shore of something else, that is actually worse than Jersey Shore.
so like Myrtle Beach is a big destination down here. Like people be going to Myrtle
been
Beach. No, I've never gone. I've never been to Myrtle Beach. But like it is a
Interesting.
huge vacation spot down here. People get fucking crazy excited about it. Love it. It's their favorite thing.
cool.
I don't know.
Cool. I'm sure it's very fun. I've never been.
If someone from Jersey to be like, I'm gonna run away with this girlfriend at Myrtle Beach. That's beautiful. That's that's like one of the funniest things.
Two state
ever
lines.
heard.
Two state lines they're crossing.
You know, a Mandela effect that I had because I watched this cartoon like a couple months ago. I'm definitely confused with something else, but I can't remember what. But I thought he had like a baby brother or sister. What was that? Was that that one? Fuck, the one with the coach. What's the name of that one? That was like the Bob's voice from Bob's Burger.
Home movies.
Yeah, he got like a little
Yeah.
baby something. Right? I think I
Oh!
confused with this with the both moms.
I could see that the vibe is
That's
similar.
similar.
It reminded me of
Yeah.
home movies.
I
So-
thought about that actually, like immediately watching this for the first time. I was like, this feels a lot like home movies.
It really
Mhm.
does, yeah. At a certain
Mhm.
point, but like
yes.
with much better I guess much better animation. I mean, it's not as wild the animation, I guess.
Well, I was just
Right.
you missed our conversation. I asked Nicole earlier. So, like
Mhm.
on our animals episode, Phil Matarese talked about this show being, or like this creator being an inspiration for him for animals. And I think you can see that with the animation style, of
Yeah.
it, where it's like crude but not crude enough. They move kind of like janky and like the way the dialogue is. And stuff.
You can definitely feel some style crossover for sure.
Speaking of, Ben, do you want to hear my story from before that I said?
Oh my God, please.
Okay, because I want to hear your reaction in real time. Okay, so I'm telling the story again to all our listeners. Sorry. So years ago, like maybe like 10 years ago, so I was on a date with this fuckboy. I've mentioned him before on the show. He looked like Nick Jonas, gorgeous looking man. Kind of dumb, but like beautiful.
Hot, dumb.
So yes, exactly what you'd expect. So he like drove a bunch. I was like, okay, like we're going on this date, like on Long Island, whatever. Like I'll drive, like whatever. So we go, and I like don't know why I got this dish, but I got this like clam chowder sauce pasta. It was like so heavy. And then I got a coffee, and my stomach just like had all this like dairy and carbs in it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna puke. I went to the bathroom and puked, and I was like, okay, thank goodness it's out. Like I don't have to worry about this. Not the case. I'm driving this dude back to his place. And I'm like, I don't feel well. And I vomit all over myself. And this dude's like sitting in the passenger seat. And I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. You're very hot. And like, this is so weird. And I was like, that's it. I'm just like going to take the L. Like this guy's like never going to call me again, whatever. And like later that week, he was like, do you want to go to dinner again? I was like, yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I was going to be like, did he go in? Did he like, try to get the smooch after the puke? That would be the question.
Maybe a braver man would have. I guess he did not want that. And I understand completely.
A friend of mine. Well, maybe he did, and that's why he wanted that second date. Hey.
He was like, actually, that was kind of sexy.
It reminds me of that scene from 40-Year-Old Virgin where like he's trying to drive that drunk girl home, and then she invites him inside, and then she immediately throws up on top of herself.
She throws on him.
Oh,
At least I didn't do that.
I knew a girl in middle school who puked in a guy's mouth while they were making out.
Oh,
on purpose?
No, not on purpose. I mean, no, it's not like she planned on it.
Like, now's the time. Here I go.
And if it happened while you're making out, I mean, like, it's coming up. Like, she was like, I don't want to stop this making out, so I'm just going to just let this happen.
Yeah, you know what? There seems like there should be some amount of... wow.
As a guy who's been drunk and pukes a lot, you do have a second, at least a second, to realize, oh, I'm about to vomit. It doesn't just like, you got like a millisecond to make a decision.
To pull back, to
you
move.
Definitely decide.
And Nicole,
yeah.
like the vomiting, look, to me, it's the same thing as shitting your pants. You know what I mean? It happens to the best of us. It's all good. Clearly, he enjoyed the company. He came back for a second. It doesn't matter. That's a good dude. Like, I'm just going to say, that's a good dude. You might think he's a fuckboy. Maybe he turned out to be one, but that's a solid cat.
I'm kind of exaggerated. He ghosted me, but it worked out because then I met Andy. So if he wouldn't have ghosted me, and then yeah, exactly. So it worked. It's okay.
So really for a reason,
Yeah, he was like, "Oh God, I can't date a vomiter," and then was like, "Oh wait, so, whatever." Anyway, no, he was fine. I don't feel like complimenting him.
You're that guy, wherever you are.
Point being that sometimes you get things all over yourself in the car. What can you do?
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, you got it.
Nothing.
Because you're in the car, you just got to get home.
There's like nothing, especially in the car. You're like, this is where I am. This is where it's happening. That's that.
Yeah, truly.
I'm echoing somewhere.
Ooh.
Oh, something's happening.
Wait, what's happening?
I'm echoing somewhere.
Not anymore.
It's gone now.
Okay.
Something's happening here.
All right, so what are your guys' favorite episodes? Ben, do you got a favorite episode?
Dude, there are really too many. I mean, there are like basically 20 small favorites. Like I think it's the fishing trip one is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
I did like Cooking the Books a lot. And I also like the one right near the end. Oh God, the play where they do the play. Those three are
Yeah, all Tom wanted to do was be the one guy to say one line, and then he becomes the
And then
lead.
his mother rewrote the line.
Oh,
too.
no.
His mother rewrote his
Add more
line.
farts. Add more farts.
Yeah, those are my top 3. I think.
And there was the babysitter episode,
my God, with
Ben,
the
where
artist.
she looks just like
Dude,
Jin.
and then it's like, what the hell?
I'm like hanging out with like Leo, and he's like, "Is that Jen?" And I was like, "Dude, that looks like Jen." I was like, "Oh my
And that's
god!"
exactly what she would do too. Is like, I'll draw this for you. You were in the same room. It's your art.
I know, because it was perfect. Because she was holding up the art piece, and I was like, "Oh my
But
god,
bro,
that's Jen with the child."
when they show the mural at the end of that's a great thing. So they're trying to save the art program at the school, and everybody's art sucks. Actually, this is probably one of my favorites too, because at the end of the day, like the notion of like the school board pulling the funds from the art program, what's the first thing to always go? Music and the arts.
Oh, art. Yeah, I remember they pulled it
Yes.
from high school. I remember them doing that.
So like they're trying to save it,
Yeah.
and the art teacher is looking at everybody's art, and she's super critiquing it. She's like, "This is crap. This is garbage. What are all these giant yellow Johnsons you keep drawing?" And it's like it's just bananas that the one chick is drawing. The Dakota, right? Dakota's drawing
Yeah.
bananas, and she's
Yeah.
like,
And then she was like, "Who drew this? Tom, you're amazing. The rest of you guys all suck. This is real art."
and she keeps saying like Picasso could do better with his butt. And like with his rear end, with his butt, and he's like, "I'm uncomfortable with all this like butt talk." like it also tickles me like how weirdly innocent he is. I don't think you should be saying those words around us. I don't think you should. You guys, I'm uncomfortable with you saying
It's so
this.
direct.
I kind of like the artist dude
did you get
because
that?
he's saying like how Nelson dad keep sending like notes for the whatever he's drawing now, that he's like more chest hair.
More
Like
chest
how-
hair. More chest hair. And he's like, "Well, are you adding it?" And he's like, "No, it's got enough." Like it has enough. But
I have a question for you guys regarding this episode. Because this is clearly not a kid show.
right.
This is the adult animation. Yeah. Do you guys think this
Mhm.
episode originally on the final mural, the principal has no underwear and it got vetoed by HBO Max, or the whole time they're trying to, because the squirrel is fucking him with underwear, so he's kind of not fucking him?
No, like honestly, I think that may have been a point in time. So when was the show made first?
Oh no, this is
this
HBO
year.
Max, so it's the last couple of years. It's not
Oh.
even old. Yeah.
It's this year. It's 21 or last year, or like I guess technically 2 years ago now. But it was like, it was like around like November-ish last year.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, dude, like that's a tough question because maybe it's not where the show creators necessarily wanted to go with like some people are way more comfortable with there's not like a lot of nudity in the show at all, really.
I mean, look at we talked about it, Harley Quinn. I mean, that's a horror R-rated show, and they still do pixely naked.
Yeah.
people.
For me, I think it's about accessibility. I think it's one of those things where, and I could be completely wrong. This is just.
And also, it's like kids making that mural, right? Or no, it was
It
an
was the
artist or
artist,
whatever.
yeah.
Like,
For the school.
because I mean, it feels funnier when it's like, yeah, he has underpants on.
It is.
Because
It's not-
at one point too, like HBO is not known for like holding back on this kind of stuff, but I feel like they hold back more on animation than live action.
And there's a part of me that thinks that's
Interesting.
maybe the artist. It could be the person doing the animation. It could be the style of the show because, like a lot of kids watch HBO. A lot of like teenagers. A lot of like that sort of thing. So if you stumble upon a cartoon, my thought process is more parents are accepting of like more intense stuff these days, right? So as long as your kid's not watching Game of Thrones, you don't care if the cartoon that they're watching says the word fuck or not, as long as there's no like cartoon penises. You know what I mean? No,
yeah.
no cartoon vaginas.
Because
Or
they
really
get
gore. I mean, it's
they-
just like a bloody show either,
Huh?
or a it doesn't have a lot of gore
Right,
either.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like South Park is like I guess South Park is Paramount now, but they have almost every episode on HBO Max. And
Well, technically, South Park's actually its own thing. It's like weird.
oh,
I don't
okay.
like.
Because
Done
I'm
South
still
Park
trying to understand the whole South Park deal. They should just be a Trauma Now, but whatever.
They should.
Oh, they know, but now
Oh,
can
yeah, there
afford
you go.
the $1 billion that Paramount paid for South Park.
Also, talk about Trauma Now. I just want to give a shout out to Keanu, last name Rives.
Yes.
Yes.
I've-
Hi. He says, "Hey, this ain't Furby Island, and I'm so sorry to disappoint. This is not Furby
But
Island."
that could be
And it
next
probably-
week. That could be next
True.
week.
Well,
And Dwayne says he loves us.
Yes.
You're welcome, Ben. Love you, Nicole. Love you
That's
guys.
till death. My Toonular made
Yes. But like,
but my
Amazing.
point is the South Park they show everything. They show like little penises, like tits, like all. But like I don't know if that's something that HBO won't control, so they don't give a fuck because it's HBO. But like this but at the same time could be just the creator because the guy was technically making a mural for like a school,
yeah.
and then he was trying to be like the guy doesn't want to be arrested or something.
Well, valid. And then also, if you look at it from that sort of lens, he's like, well, you know what? They are little kids. I'll spare them their principal's penis, but I'm definitely gonna show them getting railed by a squirrel.
All right, Nicole, do you got any favorite episodes, or you got a favorite
Yeah.
episode?
Yeah, I had said it earlier, and honestly, I think Ben stepped out for this one, so I'm happy to repeat it. The episode where Tom's mom starts dating the principal.
Yeah.
Like the principal gives Tom he totally bribes Tom. He's like, "You like that B- on your test? It's gonna keep going if you set
And
me
he's
up
like-
with your mom."
He sees him and Nelson see the principal on a date with like Dakota's mom. They're like,
Yeah,
he's just
yeah.
banging all the moms now. How do we stop this principal? And they Google it, like, how do we stop a principal from banging moms?
And I just love how so I love how the mom is like, "Oh my god," like she so I said this exact same thing before. She treats the situation like she's dating like a celebrity. She's like, "Oh my god, like a school principal, they make like so much money." And she takes photos with it and stuff. And then at the button of the episode, she's like, "Oh, you make like much less than a plumber, so never mind." But yeah, that was a
The
good
other
episode.
really fun thing in that too is what Tom wants for the thing is so low stakes. Again, low stakes. Think about all the pencils. I'll never want for a pencil again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like,
Such a
That
simple
was a
person.
great line. There was another great line. So it's like the little details of the writing that I really like in this show. They're out to so Tom's mom and the principal are out to dinner, and the principal's like, "Okay, we'll have sink water."
think what?
Like very specific, very specific.
And is all the
it's a-
bread free?
The butter
Yeah,
too.
and it's like, okay, and if I want more butter, is that free? Like little details, really great, really great.
Yeah, I've been on dates like that. I remember those times. Like, I have no money. By the way, what's the cheapest thing we can eat and the most that we can eat for it? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that resonates.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Well, what about you, Leo? You got a favorite episode?
I got so many, but let's do maybe top 3. I like the first responder one. I like when they put the music for them, so it's not like we're as the people watching. It's for us, but it's actually playing for them the music. 'Cause they're like, "Oh, where's this music
And
coming?"
the girl steals his song. He's like, "Hey, that's my song."
Let me see. I kind of I like the one that Tom is cutting people's grass and takes the job out of his friend's dad.
Oh my god, that one's crazy. Yeah, because it's like, you're stealing our job. You're undercutting. He was like, "What?" He literally has those lawnmower that's just like a push lawnmower with blades on it, not even like a real lawnmower, and he gets paid in fucking brownies.
You know,
And
that's-
his mom is taking advantage of him. It's like, yeah, no, he can do this for food. Like it's just
that's the
Like-
kind of lawnmower that I have too, right? Like the push mower with the spinning blade, and not the gas powered one. So
Hey, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't
Look,
fix, right?
Yeah. If
I
it works.
gotta,
working out too.
Well,
Those
I-
guns.
dude, and it's a small enough yard. And like because of the way shit grows around here, there's not like a heap ton of like grass coverage, so I really don't have to fuck with it too much. And my dad was like, "Oh, I'll get you one of these. What is it? It's like a standard, string pull start push mower that's like self-propelled, so it moves forward a little on its own too, right?" So I tell my pops, I get it here. It's big. I don't use it that often, and I'm like, I don't need this. I've got such a small yard, and I just have this like little $70 thing. I don't need to bring gas into the mix. I don't need to change and check oil and all of
You're
this
not
other shit.
contributing
That's
for
awesome.
global warming.
No, it's
Whoever watched
Yeah,
Last
there you
of
go.
Us know that we're gonna become zombies because of global warming. So
yeah, it's
Oh, how
it
was
was really
that?
good. You should watch that.
it's
Gonna
Okay.
cry.
All right.
it's Ben powered, and that's all I need. It's a Ben powered mower, and it's perfect. So yeah, so I gave Dad the other one back. I have no idea what he did with it. He's probably got it tucked away and saving it for me for later.
Cool.
I'll
Look,
say-
whatever works.
So
My favorite.
sorry, I'm
Yeah,
missing
yeah,
one more.
yeah.
And before that, but the crime part that I was talking about, The Last of Us, is just like Mufasa scene, but like five
Uh,
times worse.
I'm like a really sensitive
Oh, you're
human
definitely gonna
and
stop.
cry
You're gonna stop
very
at that.
easily at movies. So like I'll save that for like when I want a good
Yeah,
cry.
you're
You know what
gonna
I
have
mean?
a crazy cry. But my third
Yeah.
one is the elderly gerbil. I like that one
Oh
too,
my god!
especially with the
Oh
bus
my
drivers.
god.
Like,
It gets really
let's stop at what the wilderness behind what like TJ Maxx or something,
Yep.
because gerbils
Yeah.
evolved from wolves or something. Like
That's basically like a
forget
wild
what-
animal you've got there. It needs to be out in the wild to take care.
You never listen to plumbers. Never listen to what a plumber tells you.
I forget what his mom says, but Tom's response is like, "Wow, you're really bad at pep talks." And it just changed the scene. It was so
It-
funny.
This
Um,
whole show is just it's full of moments like that, like all the way through. Like each episode is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'd say like my favorite episode,
Yeah.
besides 'cause I love the wedding episode.
Yeah.
Like that is like the nurse is like the worst nurse ever. She's getting married or whatever. And she only brings to town, and it's great because that's a way that like, I was watching. I'm like, man, that's such a smart like writing way to do it. Now they have the whole town here. Like we start off the show small, and now the last episode, he figured out a way to literally bring the whole town into the episode.
Yeah, you're right. Smart. Yeah.
And the ice cream guy leaves because he's like a free stallion or whatever.
it's also like
With the murder-
after talking to Tom, he realized he doesn't want to have kids.
Whoop, whoop.
The best part there too, to your favorite character, James, in that the bus driver's left out, but the bus driver repairman is brought in.
The bus
Yeah.
drive, no, the
And
bus
he tries
door
to,
guy.
like, they do, like there's like a scene where like mom is talking to the principal and he's like, hey, do you know where Tom is? She's like, oh, I'm sure he's around everywhere, he's fine, she's like, I try not to be a helicopter mom. And then it immediately cuts to Tom like hanging outside the bus trying to like speed like Keanu Reeves in Speed trying to like jump to like the next car over into the guy's ice cream truck.
And it goes without like we've talked about all of these, but then there are so many that we've also missed.
Well, yeah. So I didn't say what my favorite episode was, which is when they go to Fenway Park, like the Boston Red
Oh,
Sox
yeah.
game.
Mhm.
So good because it starts off like I said, so innocent. Tom's mom just forces him to wear a thrift store shirt that he doesn't even want to wear,
Oh my gosh, I love. Yeah.
and
That
then
whole bit.
then it's like the coach like hates the Red Sox jersey, so then they have to go on this like tolerance vacation or whatever, like field trip. And then they go to Fenway, and the coach is like, "No, I'm not going in there." And then they force the bus driver to go, but the bus driver only had the Yankees hat. So then the Red Sox fan just beat him up.
So what was his T-shirt? What was it? It was a
It was
sexy.
like a lady with Red
Get a
Sox.
sexy,
and
yeah,
what did the
Right.
Goodwill guy say to him? Do you remember?
no, I don't
Remember Tom says to him, because they're discussing whether his shirt is school appropriate or not.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I do remember that conversation, but
What was his thing?
He
No, what
says,
was it? I
he
don't
goes,
remember.
well, the guy at the Goodwill said, no nipples, no problems.
All right.
That's great. That might be also one of my favorite lines.
That was solid.
And then they go to the Fenway and he was like, "Oh, it's like who should be the leader here? Because there's no adult." Tom's like, "I'll do it." And they're like, "Well, why is it you?" He's like, "Well, my uncle's the bat whatever
The ball boy,
whatever."
Yeah.
He's like, it's a volunteer thing. Doesn't mean nothing. And then you find out later that he's like the most highly regarded
Everybody
ball
love
boy.
him.
He carries
Yeah.
so
There
much
was like
clout.
someone else who. Yeah, there was like someone else. I forget who the person was, and I
Casey
forget the
Affleck.
exact position.
Like they,
Yeah,
he like
Affleck
call
was there.
Casey and tell him you're doing the first pitch.
And it's like, why didn't you say that before? You know him, and you just kept that to yourself.
Nelson's dad knows the
Yep.
owner too, but then
That's
Nelson gets kicked out
yes.
because his dad, I guess, fucked over the owner.
Was a shitty
And, like,
lawyer. His
yeah,
dad was a
Tom's-
shitty lawyer.
Yeah.
The other thing, when that starts and he makes him burn the shirt, when the coach makes him burns his shirt, I should say, and that's what sparks the entire controversy and the entire, like, you can't punish people, you can't just say you're sorry, you have to show that you're actually, fucking remorseful for what you've done. You actually have to show this stuff. Wonderful setup.
And then to bring that all the way back to the end of the episode, where it's like Tom has to pee, but he can't pee anywhere. So then his uncle gets him to pee at the baseball field, and he's literally just peeing on Babe Ruth's mitt.
He just show up
Oh,
there
no.
out of nowhere. Why wasn't a floor like a
And then-
historical thing?
Yeah. And then we go to the back to the school. The principal's like, "Hey, I can't believe this. Our own Tom is gonna throw the first pitch." He's so happy that his plan worked. And then it goes to the news report, and they're like, "So there will be no pitch thrown, first pitch thrown today, because this kid Tom just peed on Babe Ruth's mitt."
Also, even his uncle was like, "I don't know this kid.
I don't know him. I don't know who he is.
Get him, get him."
Yeah, I have no idea who this kid is.
You guys know on IMDb what's the highest rated episode?
Oh no, which one?
It is the
No, which-
Roastmaster / the whole Broadway thing that they did with the teacher.
Roastmaster was really good too. Was really, really good when he just burns the shit out of the principal. That was fun. That was fun.
His whole bucket list was the most simpler thing.
Yeah, the easiest bucket list.
Yeah.
And then he goes to see the comedian, the cleanest comedian in the world, and the guy just lights into him. That's amazing. So funny.
All right. Well, I guess it's about that time here. Let's go around robin here. Ben, what are you giving this show? What are your final thoughts?
It's a big success. It's a massive success. I'm excited for
Success.
I'm excited for a season 2. And there's one other episode. I know we're wrapping up. There's one other episode that I just feel like it needs to get a mention, and that's the one where they skip school and Dakota wants to do bad things, where she just
yes, and that's I don't know if it was based off this true story. I feel like it is, because in 2020, a real kid stole a real bus.
that
No, I didn't know about that.
Google it later or Google it now. There's a real kid.
Okay.
11 years old, who stole a bus in Louisiana and took a joyride. Luckily, no one got hurt or nothing. But this kid straight up pressed. He said they pressed the button. He just hopped on this bus and just fucking. And there's a video of him just flying down the street and 8 cop cars chasing after this.
shit.
Oh my gosh.
Bus.
I wonder what is going through that 11-year-old's mind to be like, this is something I should do.
On the news report that I remember listening to, they said the news reporter says, and a witness says that they saw the kid laughing hysterically while driving.
Oh my gosh.
of course he was.
Oh my
The
gosh.
happiest day of his life. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like that just needed to get called out, because again, this just goes to show this whole stupid cartoon is just great from start to finish. It's a very specific type of humor. It's very deadpan, but still wild shit happens throughout it, and it's just the way that it's dealt with. It's very good.
Yeah, it's like deadpan, but then crazy shit happens. It's like almost contradictory to how they're talking and acting
Yes.
to what's happening around them.
Yes, and that adds so much to the humor in here.
What about you, Nicole?
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound
Yep.
beautiful.
Cool. Okay, thanks. I just got a weird message from Skype, so I just want to check. Yeah, love this show. An easy watch. I gotta admit, like I turned it on and at first I was like, oh, I'm like tired after a long day. I'm kind of just like gonna put this on the background. That first scene, like I was dying laughing of the first
the one with the
episode with wait, what's the name of the instrument that he plays again? I forget. But yeah. The bassoon, yeah, and that like whole back and forth between like his mom and I guess now it's like knowing it's like Dakota's mom is just like gold. Like I was like I was like, this is so funny. Yeah, definitely recommend this dude. I look forward to season 2. And I look forward to watching the life and adventures of Tim when we get to it because that
show is also fucking hysterical. We'll do that at some point because it's just as funny, but he's an adult, so it's like. In that show, the lead character fucks things up a lot more than how you kind of get
Have you guys
around Tom here.
Have you watched any of it?
I
watched
haven't.
it. I watched it immediately after I watched this show because I watched this show and I was like, oh, this is made by the guy that Phil talked about in that episode. I wonder if that show that Phil was talking about exists. And then also there it is on HBO Max. So I watched it like right after I watched this. Not like recently when I first watched the show when it came out.
I just watched the first episode and like Leo, Ben, if you haven't watched it, James, if you haven't watched it in a while, I would just recommend the first episode. I don't want to say what it is because it'll spoil it. It's so funny.
It's really good. All right. So what are you giving the show, Nicole?
Oh, I'm giving it success for sure.
Success.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, what about you, Leo? You're the tough critic here.
I know. I hate everything. I'm a hater. No, I really like this show. It's a success for sure.
I was gonna say it sounded like you liked it.
This is like a show. Like last week, I was confused. I definitely watched on purpose by mistake, and I like it because I was sure that we did this episode before because I was like, why did I watch this cartoon? But like, I watched the whole thing because I like it.
Sometimes you guys watch cartoons on your own.
I know. I forgot about that. Like, I'm like, why am I watching stuff I don't have to?
Yeah, I say it's a little hard for me to make room for cartoons that we don't talk about, but I could. That's true.
But yeah, no, it's a success. I'm glad they renew for season 2. Also, we haven't talked about this. It's funny because usually also it's not the kind of thing I like, but I really enjoyed the music and the intro too.
Yeah.
It's don't skip kind of intro for me.
Because it's such a like chill song. It's not like wacky or crazy. It feels like an indie movie.
Yeah.
When you see that intro.
Good.
You feel
it's cast like an indie movie.
You feel like the opposite
I mean?
of the show because you relax with the song. It's like, oh yeah, kind of everybody happy, a city, everybody know each other. But then it just when it starts, it's just everything getting fucked. It's a good show.
Success.
So I'm gonna give this show a
success
because like besides it just being it's fucking hysterical, and I said I love stories where it's just like a character just wants the easiest simple thing ever, and then somehow that turns into a huge catastrophe and fucks everyone's world up around him. But what I really appreciate the most about it is the fact that the adults are the bullies. I mean, because I feel like a lot, at least I remember growing up, I feel like there's like a certain point in growing up where you start realizing that like adults are not like gods. You know what I mean? Like they're they're just as dumb as you are. Except they just have more experience, and that's where I feel like I related the most of it. Where I just feel like I remember just being a certain age as a kid and being like, oh, my parents don't know everything. Like this is why am I listening to these people and getting like all these.
That was mind blowing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I really appreciate the most about the show. So I give it a huge
success.
And I'm excited for whatever season 2 comes out because I'm pretty sure it is coming out.
Yeah, I thought they renew, but I don't know when. It's definitely a way harder show to animate, so they're taking that time, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure. But you think it'd be coming out at least by now, right?
Yeah.
But we got like 1,000 other fucking Fox shows that come out.
Right. Yeah.
But James, so what is for next week?
I'm actually pretty stoked for next week.
Uh-oh.
So I decided to go down a little rabbit hole of my nostalgia, and
Ooh.
I'm looking through Paramount. I'm like, let's go back to Nickelodeon a little bit, and I saw something. And I was like, man, I don't remember this. And then I started watching a bit of it, and I was like, oh, now remember all of it. And when Leo was over a bit earlier, I made him watch it too, so then I finally watched through a whole episode, and I was like, I'm pumped for next week. Next week we were watching the Nickelodeon classic from 1996, Kablam.
Oh, let's go! Let's fucking go! I loved Kablam.
Kablam, and yeah, so I mean, I know Leo, I showed you earlier, but Ben, do you have any idea what Kablam is? Have you watched it? I feel like you're gonna love it.
Ben is gonna love it.
I've never seen Kablam.
It's kind of like the what was the comic strip? It's kind of like a comic strip in a way, but it's condensed to like an actual half-hour kind of thing. And it's a cartoon show about each are different animation styles. And there's my favorite, which is Action League Now, which is kind of like an early Robot Chicken, where they just got these like generic action figures, and they're like superheroes. One's like Naked Thor. There's like the
I'm looking at it now, and I see a Naked Thor.
It's like a stop motion, that one, yeah.
Maybe I'll find it next week, because I have an action figure too from that show. Because McDonald's gave out shows. I have the girl, the Wonder Woman type chick. I forgot who her name was.
That's so cool. You have that like right now?
No, somewhere in my room. Yeah, I have to find it. But yeah, I have.
Oh,
That's
actually,
awesome. Oh my gosh,
I said
that's cool.
stop motion, but it's not. It's like more like a puppet kind of thing.
Yeah. There's a really good thing. You'll watch it next week. But they talk about they call it Chuckamation. There's like a meta reference of like how they made Action Hero Now, and they call it Chuckamation. It's like all you have to do is just chuck them, and it just cuts to like the dolls just like being thrown in the air.
That's funny.
Yeah, I've never seen
But it
this.
also has my other favorite segment called Prometheus and Bob, where like the simplest fucking show ever. And it's just an alien hanging out with a caveman, and aliens trying to show him how to do like normal, like kind of advanced stuff, like go bowling. And then, the caveman can't figure it out and fucks it all up. And it's great. So,
wow.
I'm pumped. It's great. There's, I think, 4 seasons on there. So, I mean, I'll figure out a way to send you guys a couple episodes, but I mean, a list of episodes, but it's great. And I'm very excited to rewatch Kablam, because I said I didn't remember any of it until like I started watching it, and I was like, oh, I remember all of this.
I see an image here that has like Busta Rhymes. Like there's like a Busta Rhymes.
You've never heard of this
looking
band,
character?
right? I mean, I thought maybe in your Stone College days when you're watching Cat Dog, you would have watched. Because it's like 96.
Bruh, I've heard of this, but I have never seen it. No.
It's like I watched this, and I'm like, it's so sad that this just doesn't exist. Like that cartoons, animations don't have fun like this anymore.
There was like a block. I believe this was on Nick at Night, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I feel like it was in the block with like Keenan and Kel, all that, the Amanda Show.
I mean,
like Saturday nights, Friday nights.
Yeah, I remember when they started doing that. Yeah.
Like, was Kablam in that, or was it?
That I don't remember if it was like replayed after that. I mean, I remember watching it just like on Nickelodeon.
Like whenever the hell?
Yeah, when it came out. Yeah, around.
Yeah.
Because it was on for like 4 seasons. So yeah, I mean, what do you remember watching about it, Nicole?
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like maybe I'm getting some things confused. I mean, I know it was like on Nickelodeon. I watched Nickelodeon like so much as a kid. I thought it was in that Nick at Night block.
I mean, they might have re-aired it there. I don't know, because I said it wasn't a Nick at Night show. I mean, it was it was a kid show.
I mean, knowing you were probably a Nick at Night kid. I was.
Yeah.
Like Keenan and Kel, all that. Like I said, Amanda Show. But like anyway, even if it wasn't like aired at the same time, like in the evening, it's still like of that era. It seemed kind of like weird.
Yeah, exactly. It feels super
humor.
90s. Like it's like late 90s. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'll remember a lot of it, as like I did watching it. Like I said, I can't tell you a single thing about it, and then I watched one episode with Leo today, and I was like, oh fuck, I remember all these segments.
Nice.
I was really like, I never heard of this, but then some things end up being vaguely familiar. So yeah, it looked interesting. I like the alien thing. Also, Ben is little on YouTube here for some reason. Like everybody's videos like normal.
I'm a tiny man on YouTube.
Yeah, sometimes when people lose, I guess you must have like lost quality a bit from your Wi-Fi because then it causes the videos.
Oh
to
yeah,
shrink. That's what happened in live streams. So if you
Oh.
live stream when people were shrinking, it was because we were somebody, whoever was losing Wi-Fi or like losing like the quality was getting shittier, so the video was getting smaller.
By the way, there you go.
Yeah, I fixed it.
Ben's back.
Oh
By
yeah.
the way, want to add that Reeves says, "Hell yeah, love Nick at Night."
nice.
Well, Reeves, I'm gonna start closing out. You guys can start giving where can we find you at? But Reeves, if you ever see Kablam, throw a comment out there. But Nicole, where can we find you at?
I'm on Instagram _Nicole Matarese. I run Fantasy Shed's Twitter, so check that out. I have my own podcast. Totally recommend this, dude. If you haven't listened to the December episode, check it out. It's about spring breakers. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Nice.
Yeah, all right. What about you, Leo?
You can find me on one of my 100 Instagrams. This time is my personal one because we're all friends here, Leandro Naza. So yeah, if you don't know how to spell, just figure out.
You don't know that sounds sexy, Leo. Like the way you say
thank you.
the Instagram.
Joshua Dolan is just like, yeah, very
If you're
happy.
still awake,
Tonio.
yeah.
That's true. If he's still, yeah, he said he was gonna listen
you-
to all of our
wait.
voices as he falls asleep. So maybe.
Leo, just say it one more time before we leave.
Leandro Naza. That's my name.
Oh,
Yeah.
hot. Yeti, where can we find you at?
Always at yarn_Yeti. You can find me at shit.house.productions. In March, you'll find me at the Evansville HorrorCon, trying to buck and shuck some Curse of the Weird stuff. And we've got a little DVD coming out called Our Shitty Shorts. We're gonna be selling those for like $10. I've got to make some money back somewhere. Yeah.
How is this the first I'm hearing about this? This is so cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a party. You'll get
When do
one.
you expect to see that?
Yes, hell yeah. Oh my god.
When
Is that like
Oh.
soon?
say
That's
what?
so exciting.
Is that soon? Like how soon should we expect this?
Yeah, very soon. That's in fucking March, bro. I got to get some DVDs ordered. Otherwise, they'll show up after the fact.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's
Excited.
awesome.
And yeah, you can always follow me at the Fantasy Shed everywhere all at once. Yeah, I mean, still got a new Blunt Smoker coming out, new other podcasts coming out. So just keep a lookout. And I hope this live stream worked. It seemed like I finally figured out the audio. You know what I mean? And like, it doesn't seem like we lagged or fucked up at all. So
Yeah.
go us.
Great job,
Nice.
James. And great job landing your 3 kick flips. Let's hear it for James.
Yeah. One for each 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope that I can skate again and feel my legs after. That's the new goal, man.
Yes. Hopefully. Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna start. I should have started doing this earlier, but I'm gonna start playing this out because this theme song fucking rules.
This is all Kyle's mom's
Yeah,
fault.
but
Shut
still,
up,
it's been
Carmen.
great.
Kyle's mom is the
Thanks
one
for
that
everyone who's
started
been
that damn
listening and
club
all
and
of it.
the time she
Yeah.
Thank you.
All of you. Till next week, guys.